Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Ryan, a former Jehovah's Witness, and I'm hanging out with my friends tonight from the worldly perspective. We are three former fundies and this guy named Tyler, and we discuss all things like pop culture, science, and recently we've been going through the origins of life literature from the Jehovah's Witnesses, and we're going to wrap up that discussion tonight. Unfortunately, it's going to be on this channel because I'm locked out of the other channel on Apostate Coalition. So we'll determine where we're going to be next week. Who knows? It's up in the air, but we're here. Thank you. Welcome for joining. Please make sure you hit that like when you come on in. And I'm going to pass this over to Dr. Time Waster, our conductor. Choo choo.
Oh man.
You like that?
Can you move me below her?
Oh my god. It's fine. That's better anyway. That's fine.
It's hard to listen to what you're saying, then have to look over here like that.
Thank you guys. Welcome everybody.
Welcome everybody. Thank you for following us to whatever channel we happen to go to. We enjoy doing this and we would hope you enjoy watching it. So
Do we?
Well, if you don't and you're here, I don't know what to tell you. So thanks everybody for coming. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Alpha Sub, for also
Thanks
joining
for
us.
having me.
Yes. Thank you for being here tonight, everybody.
I do what I can.
And thank you, Dan and Jay, for being on time.
Yeah, right.
They found the directions. They read the instructions and they made it here on time.
Without a hit.
Recognition. So
praise Jehovah.
Ryan, are you drinking an Oreo Coke?
What'd you say?
Is that an Oreo Coke?
No, this is called Salam Cola. It is a Palestinian brand.
Oh.
Yes.
It's Thank God, because Oreo Coke sounds terrible.
Yeah, I would much rather have a Salam Cola than an Oreo Coke.
It does.
This one is no
sounds like
someone clip that and make a commercial.
All I heard was
it's delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's delicious.
All I heard was Sluggo Cola. The Time Waster, no, it's from Star Trek.
Yes.
Oh, I was like, wait, what the hell, Sluggo? That reminds me of like some alien game.
Yeah, it's
Slurm. Would you like some Slurm?
I would love to have some Slurm.
Please no.
Futurama. Okay.
You saw where they got it from.
What's that?
You saw where that Slurm came from.
Oh yeah, actually, I forgot.
I did
until you reminded me. I'll still try it though.
We all know where Slurm comes from.
I imagine it tasting like Surge is how I imagine
it. Oh, I miss Surge.
I believe that was the comparison.
Gotcha.
Yeah, people give Matt Groening and I guess The Simpsons a lot of credit for being able to predict the future, but let's just face it, humans repeat our own history quite a bit, and they're just calling out pop culture, and it just happens to become relevant again at some point in time. And so it looks like prophetic. It looks like they might have called out something prophetically, but really they were just doing pop culture at the time.
You're just denying the gospel.
And it's patterns too, pattern recognition. If you're in Hollywood and you're paying attention, you see who runs in what circles. And, you know, Diddy is kind of like one of those circles being bursted.
There's also not that many things to write about. You really think about it.
Well, and also there's a lot of things that are pretty predictable, right?
Just give me Jehovah. Y'all bringing me down.
We're taking the magic out of the magic, and I'm sorry, but really, that's unfortunately the reality of things.
I'll take Jehovah.
You know, like whether it's the magician's trick or it's a prophet prophesying something to come true that's easily predictable.
That's why science probably ain't gonna never win. It's just too real. Too real.
We're too real?
Yeah, we're too real, man.
Well,
people don't want reality.
Who does?
That's not the purpose of a religion. I need to escape that reality.
And go to the true earth.
The true.
The true
True,
earth. The true
The true earth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm not vulnerable to fantasy. I think there's plenty that I also would like to believe. I want to believe, right? I have the fucking I want to believe sticker on my water bottle. Like, of course,
You don't have to
it's
want
nice.
just believe.
Well,
Jehovah is
can't
here
do
for you. Jehovah is here
There's
for
a
you.
reason I want to believe, and it's
Jehovah.
because it sounds fucking nice, but I can't believe it's true because it's not convincing.
Yes, it is.
No,
Calling
your-
him control
your heart-
on
your-
Emily.
and if that's
Heart is
convincing, then
coagulated
how is
right
it any different than all the other nice fantasy ideas people come up with all the time? How is Scientology not true? That was a fiction book. It was based on a fiction book that he literally made money off of a fiction story.
And continues to have people reading his literature
The
as if it's
Harry Potter cult next.
yeah. They're all kind of like cults, similar.
My point just being, and pardon my ranting, is just that if we don't have a way of discerning truth and looking at it and comparing it, and then being honest with the thing, comparing it to the things, that same standard of evidence we've created for all these other things we want to determine if it's true or not, if we're not willing to use that to our own beliefs, then we're just kidding ourselves, right? Like,
I was trying to figure out why my camera was lagging. It's like, I'm like 60 frames per second. Come on, man.
it's not fast enough.
Oh, it was too, it was
So what
too
are
much.
we?
It was
What
too
are
much.
we actually discussing tonight? Are we? Because we wrapped up with. We didn't really read through chapter 4 because it was. I mean, I think we kind of beat ourselves up a little going through all of that because we read
Eating a
through.
dead horse.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough.
So we just kind of like breezed over it and like discussed some things. But I mean, I feel like I did learn. I should have made him the full screen. I tried.
You should have.
Quick. I tried to, but he was I got to figure out these buttons a little quicker. Yeah, I'm not fast draw McGraw. Sorry. But I mean, I did learn some things, not from them, about them, patterns. Definitely see a lot of patterns there with how they habitually manipulate what they're quoting. Like all you have to do is find the book and read the book.
Which is a pattern of behavior, right? Like we can forgive them a couple of times, or especially where a lot of people maybe make the same error, right? If everybody keeps making the same error, I think it's probably pretty fucking forgivable, right? But if somebody goes, oh, I keep making that error, and then continually, habitually makes the same error, and then tries to tell everybody, that's not an error, I'm not doing anything wrong, that's the problem, right? And that's what we're getting with this. We're getting told, we're getting gaslit, we're getting barraged with misinformation and being told, oh no, this is real. And if you don't believe this, Satan.
It is Satan. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
But
Or
Satan
you're
does get you.
foolish. They make you feel foolish. Like you wouldn't believe that, would you?
I used to be a pharmacy technician, and I was good. I'm a very detail-oriented person, as you can imagine. I like your shirt.
I know.
Do you like my shirt? Oh,
sin.
That's my favorite shirt.
Sin.
Working on it. I don't even remember what we're talking about now.
Spinning.
Well, let me just back up.
We're recapping.
What's that?
We're recapping.
Recapping, yes. And I'm sorry, I do tend to go on rants, and so I'll
do.
You'll love me for it or you'll hate me for it, but either way. I won't finish the sentence. Okay, so let me just start over here. I think that what we have is enough red flags to say, I don't feel like I can confidently trust this information when I go and I fact check it independently. And I think regardless of our backgrounds as Jehovah's Witnesses, I think a lot of people would read this information and go, yeah, not maybe a great source. But
Right.
because they say we're the best, right? Like it's like Donald Trump. There have never been anyone ever that's ever existed that's better than me at this thing that I clearly actually have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm the most humble person.
Most humble. The humblest of humble people ever. And we're talking about a group of people who have an opportunity to have authority over a lot of people, a governing body, or even just somebody who's at Bethel who's able to influence the wording or something. You might feel good about yourself for doing that little tidbit, but really it's just helping the propaganda machine of don't look outside, don't listen to other people who are not saying that we're good. Anytime somebody says we're not good, that should be a sign to you that that's the Satan. That's, you know, and don't listen to them. Plug your
Bad
ears.
influence.
They literally say these things. And I've never, like, after I've left, I've gone to college, I've done other things, and I've never heard anyone say, don't question it. Never question it.
Right.
My whole job is to find errors and call it out as I see it. That is literally part of my job all day long. So to then go into a different environment where that's not allowed, it's just bizarre.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But they secretly make you feel as though you made that decision on your own. After reading through that brochure as a witness, you would read it and say, yeah, I believe the Bible. I
I
believe
take
in
that
creation.
conclusion myself.
I would. If I
Yeah.
read that book, it makes me want to believe the Bible. It's so not. It's
Right?
so not. Like,
You would
I'll just
feel
take that.
comfortable. You would feel comfortable believing the Bible.
I'd be like, yeah, I'll take the Bible over that book. Please read us.
Mhm.
Please tell us more from the Bible. I don't want to sit through another lecture book. I would. Please, no more science. Just please.
Give me
So I
God.
guess the question is if we see people who are going and living through their life or being abused to believe or coerced into doing something that we don't think is right, that we feel they don't fully have all the information to make a good decision and they're being coerced into this decision. And I'm being vague on purpose, by the way, because we can apply this to a lot of different scenarios. At
Right.
what point do we have a responsibility to
None.
say something, right?
None.
And this is what Christianity has drilled into them. That's why our loved ones can't stop themselves from continuing to break our barrier, like our boundaries, and continuing to talk
Right.
about Jehovah, even though they promised they wouldn't, even though we
Well,
said,
they feel like they're personally failing if they don't.
Yeah.
I've had these conversations, right? Please just don't tell me to go back to meetings and we can have conversations, and they can't do that.
Right.
Because they truly believe that they're trying to save us, help us.
Nobody in those Christian religions can help themselves. Like I said last week, they don't understand how much work it takes to exist around them. They're constant talking, they're constantly bringing it up in every scenario. Like when my grandma died, and people trying to tell me I don't want to. I said, I don't want to hear that. That don't do anything for me. Just. But they don't care though because they're delivering the right word. It sucks.
Womp womp. Womp womp.
I don't know. I never really want to concern myself at any point. I just try to maintain my own peace, but I do still feel a responsibility just from being taught. The thing the things in growing up in like the Christian-based religion, like you do feel like you have some responsibility to help other people not get taken advantage of by others, including
I think
by the Christian-based religion.
I just feel as like a community member, like being part of a community. Like I owe it to somebody. Like, hey, I went to Walmart and people were outside and like stole my wallet. Like, I don't know. I feel like I gotta tell people. I just gotta warn you. It might not happen to you. You might be fine when you go to the Walmart. But if you see a dude with a striped shirt and cowboy boots,
See, the thing about them is though, is this me, the non-believer, and they tacked it up. And I said, you know what? You need to know the truth. You need to know the truth about evolution. All it does is fuel them. It's fuel for that belief. Either way, they say, see, they're gonna come for you. It don't matter what you do. You can't not believe till you don't. Either you do believe or you don't believe. There's nothing you can do about it. And these people believe, and there's nothing you can do about it until they just unbelieve.
they have to be ready to, like me, like all of us, like, well, not you, but the rest of us fundies in here, where we came to a conclusion where things didn't make sense and we didn't believe and trust anymore because the information
But if
just
your
not
life,
good.
but if you got like a life that's not like really that event, and not a lot of things happen, especially if you
Eventful.
got, yeah, not eventful. You ain't got no real, no tragedies or trauma. You can really point your finger on off the rip. It's easy just keep on going
If
with
you
it.
got a regular life
Yeah,
and like you're cool with some of that stuff and it doesn't seem to be much drama, like maybe you're fine with that, but
those are
I
the
obviously was.
because those are the regular people I be talking about. The regular people, they don't have a lot going on. They don't have any reason to even question why they don't, whether they should believe or don't believe. There's nothing going on.
To break out of any kind of system. They don't
Yeah,
even know there is one. They're not.
yeah.
They're just not aware.
They just
They're in a
Oh,
bubble.
I wish I was them.
What's that?
Go
What'd you
back
say?
to being in a
I
bubble.
want to believe.
Yes, I want to
That's
believe
what
and
I
I
thought.
want to leave. Take me. I heard there's like intelligent plasma hovering over like I don't know, the space station sometimes, something like that, on top of mountains. I don't know.
No, that
Plasma.
I'm sorry, that was an X-Files episode that you're thinking
Was
of.
it? Was it? Okay, well, whatever it is, take
X-Files
me with
predicted the future.
you. If you're listening, sentient space plasma.
They made a show in 1958 or 1968 or 58, somewhere around there, where the family left and went out of space, and they still prayed at dinner time.
Lost in
Oh,
space.
stop. Yeah, no. That
Oh
doesn't
my
make
God.
a damn kind of sense, please.
But when they did the remake of Lost in Space, they kind of let
Yeah,
that
yeah,
part
yeah,
out.
that's the part. That's the part.
Yeah. Doesn't fit anymore.
I liked the remake. I thought it was good.
But they only did it one time, and so far they haven't done it again. I guess they just had to meet that quota of it.
This was in the 60s.
58, yeah, 50, yeah, 60, yeah, 57, 58, 59, yeah, around that time, yeah. Good quality television too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did have some sort of outline for tonight, and I'm not going to strictly follow it, but I wanted to kind of use this time to wrap up the stuff we had been talking about, because we've been talking about evolution, the origin of life, Jehovah's Witness propaganda, all these fun things for like the last couple weeks. And so God damn it, we couldn't get through the first book that we did, which was like, I don't know, a couple hundred pages maybe. And I think we made it to 60 and we were like,
Something like that.
done. We were done. This was a 30-page brochure that they put out in 2010 that was supposed to be more modern, concise. And it's still taken us weeks to get through it. And we didn't even read chapter 4. And I was just going to briefly show them what chapter 5 was today. And it's only 2 pages, but still, we're not going to read it because it's garbage.
Right.
Anyways, I wanted to kind of wrap it up. What's that?
Wrap it up.
You want me to pop it up?
Yes.
Wrap it up.
Go for it. Yes. Me.
Ugh. Give me the Bible.
Let's see. Okay. Where did you go? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Is it reasonable to believe the Bible? Good question. They had a lot of criticism, if we want to go back. They had a lot of criticism about, say, evolution. And a lot of criticism about this. And I think it's a good question to say, is the Bible let's park that right there. Is the Bible a good source of information? And so I think what we did last time was we did kind of look into that question a little bit as far as, is it just a good source, period? We talked about, what are we talking about? We talked about, we don't really know any of the authors. It's been translated from languages and copies and languages and copies and languages and copies over and over and over again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else?
Edited and redacted
and
exclusion. What it's been excluded from the Bible. We don't even talk about that.
The time frame it was written, and they're critiquing scientific literature that's like up to date, right? Like we put out stuff all the time in science it's very specific. It's answering a very specific question. It has to be updated regularly for us to, really use that information. We have to go back and go, gosh, we pulled this renal function calculation from the 70s, and it really kind of handicaps a lot of ethnicities to give them poorer renal function. And then that's preventing them from getting kidney transplants because their calculations are off because of this calculation we're using from the 70s. Maybe we should think of a better way to do this. And so that's science. That's science going, this isn't working. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's redo this. Let's take what we know today and go, let's not use something from the 70s to do this calculation that can affect people adversely. And that's all we want, right? And they're not doing this at all in the Bible. They're not doing this in religion.
I love that.
So is it a good source? I think
it's a good source of a window into time about a very specific society who you can watch their development and their own evolution through a specific time frame. So yes, it is cool for that, and that is it only.
And the human psyche. And the human psyche.
Yes, right. Like we have this perfect little wow, how did they think and believe and mix with the divine?
Once you get past that, the particular things that they believe, but how they believe it's the same. How people decide now how they do things. They operate. Everybody, it's the same pattern. They just they just got something different. Some people some may be a political thing or your skin color or whatever. Somebody they'll find something with the same approach that they use with the Bible. They just in everything though.
No.
Rockefeller.
Yeah, them MFers. They absolutely were writing women out of history and taking their power. But at the same time, while they're
I think they were pretty accurate on the women in there. No.
But while they're demonizing them, you're horrible because ABCD, right? And then they take ABCD and they apply it to the male god.
Right.
Because
y'all
They
messed
need
up.
it.
Y'all messed up in the beginning. They
Right.
wrote y'all been like
They
from the
blame.
By
moment
not murdering men immediately.
Yeah,
from
but that's
the
exactly how they did it, right?
from the
They
moment
blamed
from the
them, wrote
moment
stories to
from
blame them for all
We
the
needed to
woes
be
of the
the black
world.
from the moment they wrote their creation story, after said creation story created women, there was already y'all messed up everything.
Mhm.
Like we were supposed to be in the garden, but thanks, Dr. Time Waster and Ryan.
Right.
We could
They
have lived life
put that at the
great.
very beginning, and they put that at the very beginning, even though that wasn't the oldest like story ever told.
That
So yeah,
sounds
it's
like,
very
but to me, you know what that sounds
pointed.
like? It sounds
Mhm.
like
Wishful
sounds like
thinking.
not wishful drinking, but it sounds like a relationship that went sour.
Like a divorce,
Yeah, that's
from the
what I
divine
so
feminine.
so they say, well, this is what she did, and that became,
Mhm.
you know,
Like the bitter, yeah, he's like the
yeah,
bitter, spurned man.
yeah, that's what she did. I'm starting to believe him a little bit.
Yeah, Adam and Steve had made it until the homewrecker Eve came along. Damn it, Eve.
Yeah, me
Breaking
and
up
Wasn't
the house.
Lilith in one of the original creation stories?
Say again?
Wasn't there a character named Lilith in an original creation
She
story?
did. She developed over time, but yeah,
you know the trick they do.
Hmm.
The trick that they do. I know that they do in the Baptist church. They purposely don't preach in chronological order, or they just the way they preach is just they're all over the place in that book. And it's hard to keep up with what's going on and what so it's hard to see that it don't make sense because
everything is cherry picked.
they are all over that thing. They're in
All
the
church
back of the
does is
book, the
just
front of the book, side of the book, the edge of the book. Like nobody talks
most.
about nobody because all the stuff y'all be talking, like the stuff she talking about Lilith, and they don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, no. Most churches is just a guy giving their opinion and occasionally giving a Bible verse to try to back it up.
Yeah, and the Bible verse is just randomly picked or just the stock verses that everybody talk about. It's like,
Or it's
oh,
very limited to
mhm.
back up their point of view.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was chapters in the book that like a page or two. Oh, a page or two. What is that? What's that?
New light. Oh, we got some new light, guys.
Where are
Yeah,
we? We at the new light?
I made my own new light. Okay, this is my drawing. The evolution of the Jada Bible and how
Oh,
change can shape belief and vice versa. Now,
oh,
these are not real data points. However, these are representative data points of how the Bible had started from other things, right? And so I've got here like your original, right? I'm basically making an evolutional tree of sorts where we have our original, and we have maybe copies of that original for being generous, translations, right? Something else. And then you've got all the other Bible translations over here, right? And I'm just branching them off from this Bible because I don't truly know nor want to spend the time looking into the full Bible history, which is, I'm sure, so massive, and that would be like a PH fucking D that I don't
yeah,
want.
that's exactly.
You don't want us to know the truth. I get it.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna give this to Dan McClellan and just have him give me like how close was I on my drawing?
Well, these
I
aren't
don't know Dan McClellan. I'm just kidding.
they're data points. They're just,
Right. And basically, I went and looked, and there's like 900 different versions of the Bible in the English language alone. So you've got a lot of translations, you got a lot of versions, you got a lot of people who want to make their name, people who want to sell a book, whatever reasons people have to want to sell you a Bible. But at some point, we've branched off from somebody else, right? So whether this branch is accurate, we came from some other translation of the Bible. And I'm talking about Jehovah's Witness Bible when I say we, so forgive me. But you've got the introduction of what do I got here? Rutherford right? And he had some influences. Then there's this guy Russell, and forgive me if I've got them backwards because I don't fucking care.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
Right, you've got copying, translation, you got more copying, right? They've copied and recopied and translated and retranslated their own Bible, is what I'm trying to show you.
Mhm.
We've got the creation of the governing body, and please tell me there aren't new versions of the Bible since the governing body was created.
There aren't.
You've got the launching of the JW.org website where we can now sort of edit things on the internet now. We have a living document of the Bible instead of a snapshot in time, right? Because if you keep going to this website, they'll just change their translation and update the new one. You might not necessarily have access to the old one unless you go to some, what is that, like Wayback Machine?
I will say that the one good thing I like, well, at least I don't know how it works now, but I know at one point in time, Jehovah's Witnesses Bible app, you could like look at the source translation that they were using.
Uh-huh.
So like and look that up yourself to see what it was they were translating and why. And if it didn't match up, then you can go do your own research. But at least it was readily
Can
available.
you? Though that's the point I wanted to make. Is one of all of the people who actually went and looked all those things up and did their own research, right?
Zero,
Actually
but it is
looked into
handy.
it. How many of them stayed Jehovah's Witness? And of all of them that had any concerns or questions or clarifications, do you think they ever made their voice heard long enough to make them correct anything? Or did they just maybe have to end up just shutting their mouths?
Yeah,
It's
you
us.
can't cause a
It's
ruckus
three of
about
us
it.
here. Ash Porter.
It's an interesting phenomenon where you like basically are daring people to go and look into the accuracy of your translation, but it's not gonna change anything, right? Even if
Right.
it was not accurate.
I had a mutual of mine on TikTok. He was talking. He's an older guy. I don't know if he's with y'all or not. I forgot his name. He used to go talk about his deconstruction story. He was talking about how he deconstructed, but then I guess he kind of went through like a crisis or something where he just couldn't, like he said, he would like look at a tree. He just didn't like trying to just understand it. It wasn't. It's just there. It just exists, and you know what I mean. So he went back in. So he went back into the religion, and he just kind of just, you know, and it made him feel better. So he just went back and just kind of, you know, until it just all to the bottom fell out, and then he just said, you know what, I don't believe for real.
He had a little rebound, and then he had to quit cold turkey because it just wasn't good for him anymore.
Just
Yep.
like, yeah.
Been there, done that. I know what that's like. I get you.
I mean, it happens with a lot of other things too.
Yeah, we go through our own evolution, just like this JW Bible evolution, where we
Right?
get to where they're adding God's name, Jehovah. It's not even like a great way to say it. Like, just say Yahweh. Like, it's so freaking weird.
Oops.
Say it how it's supposed to be said. Jehovah.
I like that their argument is that Yahweh isn't right either. And I'm like, well, that doesn't mean that your thing is suddenly correct just because the other
Right.
thing's not necessarily correct.
I would say that Yahweh would be the more scholarly consensus, not Jehovah.
Right.
No, but didn't they admit that it's not actually pronounced Jehovah, but that's
Yeah.
just what public opinion has agreed that it is, and so we couldn't possibly change it now. And I was like, bitch, you guys are the ones that made it public opinion. Like,
Right.
that was your
Exactly. They
campaign.
probably made it more popular.
It's Jehovah.
Jehovah.
We've been mispronouncing it.
Oh, y'all had it wrong. I got the right way. Jehovah.
Jehovah.
Your Hoover vacuums.
Yeah, everything develops. Doctrine develops. Their doctrine develops and evolves all the time. So, like, why wouldn't they expect that things in nature also just change and develop with time? Given time. Given enough time.
I want to get a Dirt Devil and a Jehovah vacuum together and see who wins.
Oh yeah,
This suck competition.
easy.
Diddy might hear me.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Oh God, Diddy!
word.
It devolved
Come
into
on, come on,
Diddy.
don't quit saying it. I just got this guy in my dreams. Stop.
No.
What? You were dreaming about Diddy?
Sounds
Yeah,
bad.
he showed up a few times.
Oh
Really?
my
Dang.
God!
Can't escape him,
Freddy
huh?
Krueger shows up, or
From Diddy Kruger.
Diddy
Five
Krueger?
Five Nights at Diddy's. Somebody was
Oh
showing
gosh.
me memes, and one of them was
That's
Five Nights at Diddy's.
Lube on
that's sick. That's too long. I'd be like, kill me. But have me have sex. They had me sex for 3 days. You crazy?
It's actually really deplorable and grotesque behavior. I feel
I,
bad for everybody who
don't
he
say you got.
abused.
I don't say you have a sex drive like that. Though.
Probably because there was drugs laced in allegedly, possibly
Well, I'm
the
talking about him. I'm just talking about him, the initiator, because it's all based off him and what he needs. I'm like, why do you need all
yeah,
that?
like what power. It's
That's a
really
lot.
not sex. It's really, I mean, it is sex, but
Hey,
it's also power and
I'm
control.
gonna tell you, like I told Dr. Thomas, if there's ever an outing of me holding people captive, it's just 3 nights of Dungeons and Dragons. That's it. Force y'all to play for 3 nights straight. You ain't leaving. So this campaign is done. Then we all go home. Easy peasy.
Enjoy the game. One bottle is more than enough. 1,000 might be, 1,000 is just a tad bit much.
Just a tad bit.
So in the brochure from the Watchtower called The Divine Name, it even admits that Jehovah was name decided upon and not the actual. Yeah, it was a decision, and I just feel like it was a very strange decision to make. Anyhow, back to the fetuses. Back to the fetus. I didn't mean to distract from the fetus.
I just got bored looking at the J-Dubs talking about their Bible. So this is just, I came up with this. I just thought I'd show you guys. This is my like brief collection of a couple of key points that I thought we could go back over after reading their brochure. And I'm going to start at the bottom because we were just talking about the Bible and their question of Bible being a good source and all this stuff. And let me just draw on everything. Let's see if I can zoom in and not make you guys all sick. Over here, we have basically a timeline of millions of years ago diagram of when they think the different species of humans, not humans, but you know what I mean, like apes that led to humans, so to speak. And you can see, where are we over here? Oh wait, where are we over here? My mouse is off.
That's confusing.
So we're back, you're going back and you're coming to us. We're oh shit, sorry. I got my mouse off. We're over here. But if you look, there's like a couple of them have little black spots on them. They kind of zoom in a little bit, maybe you can see it. And basically what this is saying is that they don't have complete skulls, right? Because when something's millions of years ago, it might just possibly be difficult to have a complete skeleton or a complete of everything. But they can make a lot of inferences from what they do have, and they're pretty darn good about it, right? And they're in there, not in this brochure that we've been reading, but in the book we originally were doing, which was, I forget what it was called now. God damn. The terrible long book that we never made it through. They brought up this fact and how pitiful it is that, you don't have all the pieces. You don't know what you're talking about.
Question.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that?
How do you pronounce what?
Australopithecus?
Australopithecus? Yeah.
Now imagine you being dumb and somebody come to you and say that. You're going to sound crazy.
They're gonna like, what is that?
What's wrong with you? Why are you saying it like that?
But this is like kind of what I wanted to bring up here. This is their book where they're talking about, see all these dark images, this is the only part of the skull they have, and all the rest is plaster,
Right.
and it's not real, and they don't really know what they're talking about. Well, if you look over here, this is one of the few actual original documents, and they're not really originals. I think they're just
The copies of copies.
the most original we have of one of the New Testament manuscripts.
That's crazy. Like, imagine if you on trial for your life, and your lawyer pull up and open up his briefcase, and all the papers look like that. Your freedom and your life is based on
Hanging in the balance
on scripts.
Right?
on this evidence. This
Judge, you cannot crucify my client. I have evidence that he's walked on water.
pull out this.
Yeah, exactly.
Look,
Yeah, that's how they present the evidence. It's just like, I get it, but it just me just looking at it. I don't know what's on it. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't even know how you study the thing. But just me, just a regular person. If I saw this outside, it looks like trash, and I wouldn't waste my time. So, that little scrap of paper is saying something. I need to base my whole life on it.
Yeah, but that's truly like how they weaved together like these different like pieces of manuscripts and fragments. Like this is a fragment, and they think, and then even knowing that they have redacted their own version of the Bible, they have the cojones to say, well, how can they make a full skull out of the pieces they have? Well, because the freaking
they
scientists
said it right there. This is their, of course, I added my little piece here, but there is not enough evidence from fossil material to take our theories out of the realms of fantasy.
All these skulls laying around here.
All
these skulls laying around here.
I think a lot of them were in Africa and.
No, I mean talking about that. I'm talking about just in general. Like, you can look at that and then look at our skull, but yeah, okay, I can see something. You can look at it. You ain't gotta know nothing about what this thing is saying. You can just look at it and like, yeah, they do look familiar. They do.
What, just the skull?
Like, you
it's
can
not
go
far off.
It's not that far off.
It's not that far off. It's not a freaking stretch.
It's not.
Once you expand your mind to go beyond those 6,000 creation years that you assume it took the world to be
based
created.
on that scrap of paper you found. On scraps of paper.
Just reverse engineer their logic, reverse engineer their argument about there's not enough fossils to be conclusive about whatever. Okay, well, there's not enough fragments to be conclusive that you have an accurate translation.
Whatever.
Ta-da!
There he is, right there. But what about the space in between?
Right. And look at that. I mean, that to me draws a very clear picture. Somebody's
holding up a scrap of paper and they just filling in with the rest. They don't even know, really, they don't even technically know how long the paper was.
Have you seen my boyfriend?
They messed up with this picture.
That's my boyfriend.
They messed up with this.
And the Futurama thing still doesn't give a perfectly accurate picture because it still kind of implies one thing.
Yeah, but still though,
something that was much different.
Still closer, right? Like they're more accurate.
The three. I'm telling you, it's 1, 2, 3 humans. That's what science messed up. It's hard for them to see that 1, 2, 3 humans, just like that.
But
that's why they look at. That's why they always say, "How come that they aren't still chimps evolving?" Because they're looking at it like it's like right there. like oh yeah, it's like right there. Why is it like we're not too far from it? Like we all existed pretty close to each other.
But I got this right out of their book, and this is what they think the Bible is saying, that each one produces according to its kind. And they've they've then boldly said fish, amphibian,
Did they say
reptile,
human?
bird.
Did they say
Yes,
human?
human
Mammal?
is its own category, but mammal is its own category, which is ironic because humans are mammals by definition.
I see why they picked it. You know, but yeah, cool. At least they got cool pictures.
Yes, good thing. The other thing I was going to bring up is you can see like I have embryos up here, and when you look at the different stages of the embryos, you can see clearly.
So it went from a simple task of blowing on some mud
We're all
to this.
tadpoles essentially at some point, right? In development, we're all tadpoles.
You looking at this, you can look at the baby develop now in real time. You can watch a
And
baby
nowadays,
in real time.
yeah.
Yeah, in real time. You can look at it in 3D. You can do all it's so much you can do. But you know, nah, I'm gonna stick with the mud thing.
I mean, they don't take pictures. We're in this stage, though, do they?
I mean, they show stuff on there, but it don't look like nothing. They be like, they got a baby right there. I'm like, where? I don't see nothing.
I think this
Like
is still pretty small. I think
It
it's
looked like
still,
static to me.
yeah. I think at
I
that point,
remember looking at those pictures like when I was younger. I remember looking at those pictures kind of going like very similar. I mean, it's got a head with an eye, a little tail kind of looking thing. Not far off.
I mean, a lot of
It's
the
crazy. It's crazy how
exactly.
the other things are doing the exact same thing that the humans are doing. It's crazy.
Okay.
is it crazy though when you realize that we all basically evolved from?
It's crazy when we're not doing. We're just doing. We're just animals. We're just existing together. Yep.
Whoa.
Well, okay.
I
So
don't.
I wrote this little tidbit right here because they had put in one of their sections of the book that humans were the greatest of all the animals. Like they had basically said all the other animals were
Really?
lesser animals, is what they said. And so this just got me thinking about, okay, well, if animals are lesser, like I think it's not too hard for humans to all think that we're not lesser, but then we tend to not just draw the line there, right? We tend to keep going with the supremacy of who's lesser than within the group.
Right. We even have our own hierarchy within our own kind.
Yeah, I don't even think that's the thing we can even get out of. Because even inside of sub genres as hierarchy, you just cannot not make a hierarchy.
It seems to be something that we naturally gravitate towards behavioral wise as species. There's other species that do it too.
Yeah, because I know I'll be walking around like they less than me. but not in the sense of like their life isn't worth as much as mine.
But that's the concern, though, right? Like, I don't really care if you think you're better than me, Tyler, because it doesn't actually affect my life. Unless you're going online and you're telling everybody about how much better you are than me and how worthless I am.
I'm about to start.
And how maybe I might be getting in the way of things that you want to have happen. And therefore, maybe people should do something to me to get me out of the way because I'm so worthless.
Yeah, true. I'm about to start my campaign against Dr. Tom Waster.
Go for it. It's fine. It's fine.
I can't even. No, I'll probably get blocked. I be forgetting that I TikTok will block certain things, and I'll be like, oh, I wouldn't. I can't say that, and it don't be nothing. Like I don't think nothing of it. It's just the way the words sound. I said something to somebody. I got because I joke morbidly sometimes. I'll be forgetting TikTok don't like that. So if I'll say something like that, they'll say, nah, buddy. Say, oh, my bad. But it be between people. But the person that I post, I know they get it too. But
I don't know what Diddy is. He's a didophile.
Did a
That's what he
file?
is.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
He
Allegedly.
did it. Allegedly, he did it.
He did do
That
it.
virus.
Anyway.
All right. Well, since we were
Did
talking
he?
about all this over here, I'm gonna have to ask you guys.
Wait, now, and you know what? Wait, do you know that like when you did that and you zoomed in on the egg, there's supposedly like a Diddy egg test?
There's what?
Supposedly there's this thing where like you have to have a hard-boiled egg put in a place where the sun don't shine,
Oh,
I thought that's where you were going with it.
and it's not supposed to crack.
Oh.
Anyway,
so that's how
sorry.
they make. That's how they make brownies.
Is this an effective way to peel a hard-boiled egg? Because I am looking for easier methods.
When you want it to crack? I don't.
When you say hard boil, what you mean? Because I've learned something through TikTok. Some people let that little yolky be drippy in the middle.
There's a
Oh,
soft
that's a
boiled.
soft-boiled. That's a
Oh,
soft-boiled. Yeah, my
okay.
husband likes his like between. I was like, "Ew, people do that." I just only had hard-boiled all the way.
I only like soft-boiled eggs in my ramen.
Oh, well, that would almost kind of make sense because it would kind of cook in and like mix in with it.
And I don't have to make it.
I'm trying not to say I'm better than you, Dr. Townwish. I am. But if there's anything that's gonna make me start doing
You never
videos,
had ramen before? You're better than me.
not like that. I don't look.
Then you've never had ramen before.
I don't want any ramen.
Says the person who never experienced the most amazing thing ever.
That texture makes. I don't like that texture of egg like that.
Mm.
All you're doing
That
is putting
just-
some vegetables in a 20-cent noodle.
It's delicious.
I mean, I don't deny that. It is.
You guys are stalling. You're not answering my question.
What
So
was
what
the
was the
question?
question? Which came first?
Yeah, chicken or the egg?
Your
Okay,
mom.
My thought is genetic material is always changing in your body. So this is happening in chickens as well. They're not the same genetically as they were when they first born because your genetics are always changing. The eggs are not an exact genetic copy of them. Therefore, at some point in time, a thing that was very similar to a chicken pumped out an egg that had the genetic material of something we call a chicken.
So your answer
It's
is...
just very slightly different. So my answer is the egg.
Thank you for picking a side. Anyone else want to weigh in?
Well, is this one of those things where it's an either or and it doesn't have to be an either or? Like, why is it got to be either or? Damn it! Like, is that
I mean,
is that one of those fake argument things where, like, bro, it's like a little bit of both? I don't fucking know.
an egg and a chicken popped into existence at the same time because a God created them both. Is the third option.
Let me give you a hint of what I'm looking at, which is
What do you look? Tell me,
of
doctor.
all the animals that have evolved over time, what would you look at first? Would you look at those each individual animals that exist today having had evolved their ancestors before maybe say animals evolved the ability to lay eggs? Does that help?
Say that again.
Yeah. Because I kind of get what you're saying. Like, so this just me throwing out something. So you're saying basically if there was a something that predates the chicken, right? And like all this time, it based on its environment, it gave birth. It just there you go, it showed up. But this other one moved to his thing because the environment had to adapt. So his baby survived. They adapted in a shell form. And boom, and that's how the egg came first. Is what you saying? Kinda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What I'm trying to get at is
I think we hung up on the egg. I think the problem is everybody's hung up on the egg as being like as if the egg is the beginning of life.
right. The egg isn't the beginning of life, but at one point in time, life still existed before eggs existed.
Yeah.
right?
The egg is
Right.
just a by egg. The egg itself is just a byproduct
There is
of
no life
life.
without eggs.
The
Eggs
egg
is life.
developed in something.
Yeah,
We
I get
came
what
from
you.
eggs,
Yeah,
right?
we came first.
We
The egg,
grew from eggs,
chicken
but
came first.
I wish we had eggs instead of babies.
we
Oh
do
man,
have
But
that
I
would be
eggs.
mean,
amazing.
like, yes, we
Hard
do.
boiled eggs.
But I
We
want to boil
do.
that egg. I want to boil that egg outside of my body.
It'd be so
Talk about
tiny.
it. Talk about an easy. Talk about an easy birth, right?
Lay a
Yeah,
fertilized egg.
so much
Well,
easier.
we should have. What if it was
It's
like?
like
What if?
aerodynamic and a way.
What
It's
if it was
just
like? What if we did like? What if we like fish? I just drop your egg somewhere.
Okay, here's the question
just
though.
rolled.
The roll.
I got to
What if
scoop.
you had to lay an egg every
Call me
single day
never.
of your life
Oh,
as a woman?
Wait, what if what?
What if you had to lay an egg every single day of your life as a woman? Like, and then only fertilized ones could become humans. Like, would you want to do that?
Could I
would
eat
you
them?
sell? Would you sell them?
I mean, you could eat your own eggs. Yeah, chickens eat their own eggs and they love them. So yeah,
Oh,
you
so
could.
wait, so I could even like supply myself with my own food, just like for infinity? Hell
Yeah, but
yeah!
I'm sure this is gonna be taboo if you eat your own eggs though.
Yeah.
In this scenario, it's taboo if I want to eat my own eggs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
how y'all
course.
eggs on now? It'd be like caviar.
Well, then you couldn't
Yeah,
sell
the
me,
way they
but
are now. Yeah.
it's still like cannibalism. So
Oh, rich
either it's
people have gotten some
acceptable to eat
human
it or it's
caviar.
not.
Ew. Cannibalism? Yeah. We ain't got to that point yet.
You would never die of hunger. I think like I would actually be okay with me producing an egg that I could eat
Yeah,
every
but
day for sustenance.
yeah, but net neutral when it comes to energy transfer, you're not going to be able to create an equal amount of calories that you would then consume.
Infinite
Unless you're going
energy.
to also eat your waste.
Well,
So
it would get lesser and lesser and lesser. Right. I'm not saying that's the only thing you eat, but if you had that as an extra little like
Yeah.
a little
Like,
thing
you could,
and
you
boost
know,
your day, your energy for that day, why not?
get you a.
Let me plop breakfast out real quick, kids.
you guys
Hang on.
do know how small
What if it was breakfast
human eggs
for your
are.
children? What if it was breakfast for your children? It's not necessarily sustenance for you, but because it came from you, it has enough to like you could feed your family with it.
They
You guys
already.
have
I
seen an
was
ostrich lay an egg, right?
Huh?
Ooh, breakfast is ready.
Be careful what you ask, what you wish for, because humans would be laying ostrich eggs.
in between
That's
that and human milk, you can make cakes all day long.
Right? I mean, breast
Just
milk
like the
is
duckbill
delicious.
platypus.
It's very
I saw the
creamy.
episode of Futurama where they went underwater, the lost city of Atlanta, and Fry was trying to get with the mermaid, but she said, "What's that little doodad thing there?" He said, "Yeah. So what's up with that? You never done it before? I just lay my eggs in the corner, and you." And that's what made him leave. He ran.
You gotta go over there and fertilize those eggs I just laid over
Right.
there.
It's pretty weird.
Yep. Yeah, I don't want to burst your bubble on the whole laying egg things, but there is an evolutionary answer to the question that you're asking, which is
Why I
don't humans
can't?
lay eggs?
See, these are the
Why
burning
can't I
questions.
lay eggs?
See, these are the burning. This is the type of church I want to go to.
These are the 5 questions that I think are worth asking about the origins of life.
I agree.
Why can't I lay eggs?
Is it murder if you drop it?
Tell me why. I want to know the answer.
So, is it murder? What did you say?
Is it murder?
What if you had to
drop
lay?
it?
What if you had to lay ostrich eggs every day? One ostrich egg every day.
That's what I was
No,
saying
that's a little
earlier.
big. That's a little too big.
No, that's what I'm saying as human beings. So one of the reasons why we give birth, and I'm giving birth versus laying an egg, definitely has a lot to do with how much more development can happen, because there's a lot more development, as we know, is like human fetus that is in utero is going to develop more. It's going to be able to get nutrients. It's a sterile environment. It's safe, right?
Yeah.
It could get very, very develop the longer it is in utero. If you have
Because y'all just think about it. I don't mean to cut you off, but y'all can't even get parental leave. You think gonna give you time to go sit on that egg?
Right.
well, and an
Yeah.
egg is contained to that's all you're going to get. Whereas in utero, you're getting nutrients as the mother is consuming, as it'll even
Right,
break
because
down
what's in the
their
egg
own
is all you
body
got.
to get what they need.
Okay, that makes sense.
A fetus will start to
But wait,
break
wait,
down
wait.
their own bone minerals to get calcium and minerals for creating those bones.
But why can't the baby just be smaller then? This baby could just start off this size, and like, why do
Human
we have to
babies
say
are
no?
smaller. Think
No,
about
it's
it.
but for the whole general.
But think about human babies versus other animals in the mammal kingdom. We're talking about animals that are born and then can open their eyes, run on day one, right? Right? They can get up, they can walk around, they can run on day one after they're born. Human babies can't do that, right? Human babies are born and they're so delicate and so fragile, but the reason we have to give birth to them sooner before they could possibly be born and then run, survival instincts, is because their brain is so big, their heads are so big, and in order to not, kill
Ooh.
the mother on the way out of the canal, we have to give birth to
I
them
wouldn't
before
mind
they
staying
get too
till I was
big.
like
I
8.
have a solution. In the egg, the head can be the biggest part. So when it comes out of the egg, it has a very large head, and the arms and feet are just kind of like stick. But eventually, over time, they'll develop
Yeah.
because they have a big brain.
Yeah,
And
both
humans
of the egg
also
will be the
have
head.
I think we have to stop saying that these
Tell
are
natural
black and white
selection that that's
solutions.
what you want, and we'll see how
You
it
got
goes.
you don't have enough faith in the egg. That's what I'm hearing.
we should
Trust the egg process.
we also need to have beaks so we can peck our way out of the egg.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Can't they
Oh
just
yeah.
come with one of those car window things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or we just
Emergency.
we'll just know when it's time to get you out.
Yeah, we just know and we peel you out.
Yeah.
Who peeled the first human out of the first egg? Age-long question.
Who killed the first human out the egg?
Who
I guess you
hard-boiled the
might as
first
well
human
because
egg?
that's kind of what you do anyway when you're a baby. You're still like, well, no,
I mean,
is the waste is kept separate
some
in the amniotic sac?
occasionally it's very rare a baby's still born inside the sac, like the whole sac comes out.
Yeah,
So
I've
it's
seen
super
that.
rare. And
You're
then
talking
you
about the
peel it.
placenta?
Yeah, the placenta.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's
you usually deliver the placenta, if not with after.
Yeah, the
But
placenta is
they've
probably
done like C-sections and
the placenta
have
is
the
probably
sac.
the
Thing out intact.
placenta part is
Mhm.
the most yuckiest part for me. Like I can handle the other part. When that little thing just slid out, it was like, oh, I like that. It just like a pot roast.
Oh,
Pot roast.
Human pot roast. Huh?
Yeah. Human pot
Well,
roast.
it's kind of like you don't get an egg every day; you get a pot roast every year.
Delicious. Delicious.
Meanwhile, me and Dobsucker, we just here, not laying eggs or nothing.
Nope.
right? What if you laid eggs? What if
Pretty-
you were the ones who laid the eggs?
Ooh.
You pop them things out.
Oh, I don't know, man. I couldn't do
Of course
it.
you don't know because you've never known.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Most I've had is took an extremely large poop. And I don't.
Right.
That's the closest I can get. But now I just like I watched the baby come out. It's like,
Only one? Didn't you have 2 kids?
yeah, I watched both of them come out. but the second time, that was just like it came on out.
You're like, oh no.
Yeah, I already knew it wasn't as shocking the second time as the first time. The first time was like, oh, okay.
I have not.
Yeah,
watched
I
it.
just see how this gonna work. It's like, I don't know. I don't see this working. Oh, there
Would
it is.
child abusers be referred to as egg beaters?
That's pretty funny.
This
All right.
conversation has gone off the rails.
Well, okay, let me go back to something else here. Crisis fish. We all love crisis fish, right?
Tried and true crisis fish. Welcome back, friend.
You'll get us through.
Crisis.
Why did you doom us to this life,
Why
sir?
that looks like a goldfish right there.
It does.
Like
And
the
really,
cracker.
He looks scared as fuck.
He does. He look like he fucked up for real.
He looks like
should've
he
never
just
came out of the
farted
water.
in the cafeteria, and all his
He said,
friends
"Oh,"
looked.
he's like, "Oh, buddy, I think I made a mistake."
well, let me introduce you to the real name of crisis fish, and that is Tiktaalik, which is this guy
Yeah, he looked like
right
he
here.
look at that dumb look on his face.
He just looks dumb.
Yeah, he messed up. Thanks.
But there's also
Thank
He
you.
knows he messed up.
There's also this representation over here, which I'm hoping is at least somewhat scientific because
Where'd that come from?
this is the actually I just screenshot this off of the audiobook that I downloaded and been listening to on the book called Your Inner Fish, and it is written by Neil Shubin, who is one of the scientists who discovered Tiktaalik and helped get it named Tiktaalik and all that stuff. And
They could have
I
picked
would
better names.
well, actually, you will regret saying that. Because no, he explains why it's called Tiktaalik and where they found this particular fossil was on native land, and so they went to the native tribe and asked them what
I
names
still would have
they
called
would
it crisis fish.
use. Well, yeah, that's
Yeah, I would say crisis fish. That's the crisis fish right there. You
He
can come
will
to my
only be
museum. Come to my
crisis
museum. I'm gonna start a museum, and I'm just gonna rename everything into cool names. Way more people would be interested in these long, weird sounding names. It's something cool.
Australopithecus.
Man, nobody wants to go. No, man, look at that crisis fish.
Australopithecus.
That's crisis fish. Well, Tiktaalik is pretty cool. I highly recommend if you guys like reading science books. I particularly like audiobooks because I just can't sit there and read these kinds of things.
Right.
And so anyway, I recommend it. He goes through not only
I put
the
it on my
discovery-
list.
Yeah. Which means he won't read it. He goes through not only the discovery of Tiktaalik, what it means, how they did it, how they went through it, the science of it. But then he also goes through quite a bit of evolution, how evolution works in a really, I don't know, not insulting kind of way that makes you feel gaslit and stupid. So I highly recommend. But yeah, it's just called Your Inner Fish, and he goes into evolution of a bit, but mostly also talks about his discovery of Tiktaalik, and it's pretty cool and recommend it.
Nice.
Anyway.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, are we wrapping up?
Yeah, there was
I think so.
only one more thing I was going to show you guys.
The cosmic calendar.
One more.
Yes. Cosmic calendar.
So if we recall in the last section, they were talking about like the timeline of the universe and evolution, and essentially it comes from like the cosmos. But they were representing the length of time and evolution with a football field, which I personally think it's dumb to represent time with distance, but that's just me. So this is a representation of the history of the universe and time in a calendar year, but then also broken down specifically into our existence. So as you can see, let me zoom in here. Let me just not do that.
Oh man, I should have never walked on land.
Yeah.
Love his face.
Mm-hmm.
Bastard.
So we go from January 1st to being the Big Bang, the moment of Big Bang. And then as you go through, you can see February, March, April, and May. We're still developing the universe. We're still developing galaxies. June, July, August, still the same. September, We're getting into our own origins of the solar system. We're getting into the origins of the planets that we live on. Photosynthesis. November is eukaryotic cell month. Woohoo!
Ooh.
And then you can see December is really just multicellular life. And so then what they've done is they broke down the month of December into fossils, trace fossils. We start to get into vertebrates, land animals, jawfish, amphibians, reptiles, Pangea, flowers.
What is this again?
This is a representation of the time of evolution in the universe and everything that we know in a time scale that's squeezed down into a year calendar. And we're just looking at December right now. And all of this detail is in December. And
zodiac signs.
Right. The final day of December, December 31st, is the dawn of the apes, the planet of the apes, all of human evolution. And then they go down into...
That's where we went wrong.
Yeah. Basically...
December 31st.
The last second, the final minute.
The
is
final
like
part of the final part.
Human calendar, human agriculture. They've got like Columbus arrives in America 1.2 seconds ago.
Wow.
Oh, I just missed him.
Yeah. Christ was born in less than 4 seconds ago. So anyway, it's essentially just, look, they've got it down to the final second includes the scientific revolution, the industrial revolution, and all of the world wars up till today. The end.
We barely been here.
Yep.
Bravo.
We've barely been here. Crisis Fish has been here longer.
That's why he's crisis. Look at his face.
He started off
been
as
around the block.
The crisis fish is eternal.
At least since December.
Yeah, at least since December. It's eternal. Eternal. No, crisis fish was here before the universe.
He might be the creator of the universe.
That's the creator right there.
Oh,
wow.
Oh my God.
Found source.
Yeah.
All praise the crisis fish.
We should start a new religion around him now.
Oh, maybe that's what we'll start. Our cult will be.
We all live out.
Crisis fish.
So now we gotta buy a plot of land and we all just gonna live in the water.
Like a commune. The water.
Yeah, like a commune.
Underwater commune.
Yeah, we just all gonna be it's just gonna be it's nothing but just a big old hole we dig out with water. And we all just gonna commune in there. And we have to commune all the way like it's where we eat, it's where we relieve ourselves. So we just bask in each other's fecal matter.
Well, maybe you drink where we should brew piss.
Y'all want to bask in each other's fecal matter?
Probably
die of Giardia together.
Maybe that's why Crisis Fish was having a crisis, because he realized that technically he was like breathing in other fish's piss. And he was like, "Oh man!" And then he got to land and he realized he was like sniffing everybody's farts, and he was like, "What the? I can't get away from this."
I'm not gonna pay rent. God damn it!
So he created us so we wouldn't have to suffer alone.
Misery loves company.
Yes,
right.
just put the words out of my mouth. And that kind of goes with the show too. Misery loves company. Therefore, we are here to have you suffer with us.
Absolutely.
Suffer alongside of us, please and thank you.
Well,
yeah, at the very least, some of us just want to waste your time.
Take me with you. Well, guys, I think we should probably wrap up for tonight, if that is okay with everybody. I want to thank everyone who came tonight and join our little kitty party. And thank you to Dr. Time Waster for conducting and having all that information and walking us through it and making things make a bit more sense. Like even the chicken and egg argument, like honestly, just makes so much more sense to me now. I'm learning.
I like doing this.
So, Tyler, thank you. Alpha Sub.
I'm doing it. Your mother's lover.
Love you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. And we'll figure out where we're going to be. We'll figure
I
it
know,
out.
right?
Stay tuned.
We're hobos.
Stay tuned, and you'll know. There'll be an announcement here on Apostate Weekly, like Coalition, excuse me. So don't worry. You'll know where to go.
Jonathan
we're done.
promises it's worked out, so
Love you guys. Bye. Bye.